What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or if you are new here, welcome. I am the Wolfman, or WWE Wolf today, because today I'm going back to my roots, what I have loved, has always had a soft spot for, and that is wrestling. We're going to be breaking down everything that went down in this epic two-part event for SummerSlam 2025. I This is the first year in SummerSlam history that they are splitting SummerSlam into two parts. So we're going to be getting part 2 tomorrow. They've been doing this with WrestleMania a lot lately, but because SummerSlam is the second biggest pay-per-view that they do, it's the event of the summer for wrestling fans. They thought it would be interesting to split it up into parts. I'll talk about if that worked or not once part 2 comes along, because I want to see part 2 first before I really determine whether this whole two-parter worked for SummerSlam or not. But this is just reviewing part 1 tonight and everything that went down here. So we're going to be talking about all the matches, the big surprise that happened at the end, everything with it. So I'm by myself today. I didn't know for sure if Tristan watched SummerSlam. I asked him to, but we are here, just me today. He'll probably join in tomorrow if he can, because that's like the big match, just John Cena and Cody Rhodes, the one that people care about. So he'll probably join in tomorrow for that. So should be a good time. But I'm going to break it down first, just discussing the first match, which was not Randy Orton. It was Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And this one was kind of interesting. As someone who's been watching WWE off and on, like I'm a fan of WWE. I've always been, always will be, but like there's been times when I was angry at it and I just would stop watching because of some of the storylines and how they were going. And then there's some times when I would come back and watch it. I wasn't really familiar with Bronson Reed. I knew a little bit about Braun Breaker. I've seen him. I've seen some of his story, but I know Jey Uso. I know Roman Reigns. I watched this match and it was good. It was a solid match. I thought this is pretty decent. They had it the right amount of length. It was not too long, not too short. This match was the perfect length. You felt the suspense on, both sides on who would win, who wouldn't win. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought Jey Uso, I don't know. I've always found him personally kind of overrated, personally, just a bit. I don't think he deserved to win the Royal Rumble or anything. I think, if anything, John Cena should have won the Royal Rumble instead of Jey Uso personally. But I'm glad to see, though, that someone like him, I guess, is getting the appreciation that they should have gotten a long time ago. And him and Roman Reigns made a really great tag team. Paul Heyman being as conniving as ever on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed's team. Just, he's always so slimy, and he's so fun. And yeah, this match was a ton of fun, and it left me and the audience cheering. So I thought that match, it started off strong with that match for sure. And then the next match after that was the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match, which was Rachel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus my girl, one of my girls, my actual two girls, Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley are wrestling tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to be even more hyped to talk about stuff. But Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair teamed up. Now, here's the thing. Y'all who know me personally know that I think Charlotte Flair might be the most overrated I think she is single-handedly the most overrated superstar in the business. Straight up. She was given everything to her because of her daddy. Oh, my daddy is Ric Flair, so I'm just going to get everything handed to me, basically. And that's what it's been this whole time. So I've just never been a fan of Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss has actually earned her way to the top. She has been working at this consistently, and she's knocks it out of the park every single time. She's so entertaining to watch. This match was honestly maybe my favorite match of the night. This match was goofy, but in all the best ways. This had, the great kind of high-flying shenanigans you want. This had the kind of dramatic moments of like being just pulled away when you're trying to tag your opponent. This had so many of those kind of on the edge of your seat kind of moments. And this even had a moment where Alexa Bliss straight up attacks her tag team partner, even if it was by accident. She straight up rams into her tag team partner and like clotheslines her. And that was so funny. I thought that was hilarious. And the way they went about Charlotte Flair's reaction, at the end was just her being like, "Hey, look, I got sucker punched," all this stuff. It was really funny. I liked the title change. We have new champions, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I'm only happy for one of them. Alexa Bliss deserves this. Charlotte Flair, you're a phony. I'm sorry, you are. But I think that Alexa Bliss did great in this, and I never realized how what the funniest part about this match was how they had two really tall women, and then they had two really short women. So they had Raquel Rodriguez, who's pretty tall, and Charlotte Flair, who's pretty tall, going up against each other. Then they had Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez, who are basically midgets in the ring. And some of the fighting that they did, like the hair pulling and other stuff, I don't know. It just was so funny. It looked like midgets trying to flare. I was laughing out loud at times. It made it really entertaining. So I had a really good time with this match. I was very pleased with the women's tag team match and the results of it and everything. So pretty cool there. Also, just gotta say, the women showed up tonight. I'm gonna mention it in some of the other matches here soon too, but those women were dressed up in some great outfits today. Like Charlotte Flair had a sparkly blue on. Alexa Bliss had a great kind of black costume, black and pink to match her hair. And then you had Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez were wearing like leopard print that looked really nice. So like they all kind of went out there and everything. We'll get to the other matches in a second where they went out even more. But yeah, it was really cool on the costume side too. But just on the match itself, I thought this was really entertaining. And then the next match, my least favorite match of the night, was Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Mostly because, yes, I'm ginger, but I don't give two flying Fs about Sami Zayn. He's another one who I just think is annoying and just not an interesting character whatsoever. Karrion Kross, I don't know much about him, but I was kind of rooting for him just because I don't like Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn ended up winning, and I guess it was a fine match. They had a interesting kind of situation there where Cross and I think that's his and I think it's his girlfriend there with him, where he basically got betrayed by her. She was like trying to give the pipe over to Sami Zayn and see if he would turn immoral, because this plot line is basically like Sami Zayn is trying to be the moral one or whatever, and such, and she wants to see if he'd be moral and use the pipe on or whatever and whatever. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and of course he denies it. Thought that was really interesting, and just like basically just straight up like chucks it at her, which is really funny. And then I thought her like spiked outfit was really cool too when they were walking out to the ring. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, so I mean it wasn't the best match. Like I said, it was my least favorite match probably of the night. But it's whatever. I mean, it was also probably the shortest match of the night too. I'd have to calculate, but the Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross match was really damn short. So then the other match you had after that was the WWE Women's Championship between Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. So this match was really good, but also really short. So that was kind of my issue with it. Is it just kind of flew by and just ended like that? There was really no real like stakes. I feel it had one of the coolest moments of the night in terms of a match, but I just thought the match overall was just kind of forgettable. I'm not really going to remember it by tomorrow. I really loved Tiffany here. I've always loved Tiffany Stratton. Think she's a great champion. Loves seeing her come out in blue today. The way what she was wearing was really beautiful. I especially loved though that Jade Cargill was wearing yellow, like the yellow and black Jamaican flag colors to represent her heritage of Jamaica. I thought that was really fascinating, really great. So yeah, I thought all that worked really well. And the moment that I wanted to talk about that was like the highlight for me was when Tiffany Stratton goes up on the top turnbuckle and does the backflip to like win the match. I thought that was spectacular. Everything else in the match was pretty forgettable, but that was very spectacular for me. So yeah, that was a really, really good finish to the match. And I'm really happy that she retained the championship. But I'm sure Jade Cargill will have her chance again. We'll just see what happens. I would like for Jade to win it, just to see a change in hands. Then after that, the other match we had is so this is very interesting. It's because I'm kind of mixed emotions on this. So we had the Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul match. And I'm of mixed emotions here because on the one hand, I really love it that Jelly Roll was inspired to be able to come on to this show and give what he's got. He was willing to put himself out there. He even lost a lot of weight. I think they said like 234 pounds he lost just to be on SummerSlam. So, and he has goals he set for himself. He says like by 2027 he wants to have like an actual shirtless photo, like where he will actually show himself and the progress he's done. Like, so great job, man. Like, really great job on everything you've been doing there. And I'm personally very impressed. Very, 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 very much impressed by what he was able to do there. However, never wrestle again, Jelly Roll. You are terrible, terrible at wrestling. Okay. And I get it. You're telling me, oh, it's scripted, it's fake. Oh, how can he be terrible at a fake event? Yada yada. The thing with WWE is you have to have showmanship. You have to be fast. You have to be on your feet. You have to be quick. You have to know all these tactical thing, all the way to not botch it. He looked like every single move he tried to do looked straight up like a botch every single time. And that is not how you want to go about wrestling in any event. So was really disappointed in his overall performance, especially when he's like trying to pin Drew McIntyre, I think it was at the end there, and he's like doing this weird pin where he's like huddled up. Like, do you not even know how to pin? Really? Like, out of everything, you don't even know how to pin? Come on, dude. Get out of here with that. Like, I understand you don't know really how to wrestle, but you don't even know how to pin somebody. Like, come on. This is like, it's just, it was an embarrassing show for Jelly Roll. I cannot believe that they thought this was a good idea to put this man out here and just see him just get his ass kicked, basically, and then for him to just wail and cry like a baby walking away. I just couldn't understand that. And Randy Orton didn't help the situation either. I felt like Randy Orton was like, I don't know, I felt he was a bit more slower and stoic. I don't know. I felt like Randy was kind of out of it too. He didn't really help the situation either. That being said, while Drew McIntyre was good, he was good. I got to give mad respect to Logan Paul. Logan Paul is really showing himself to be a good heel in the business, to be a great showman in the business. So he really sold you on the fear. He really sold you on everything he was feeling during the match, which is what you're supposed to do. If he was supposed to be hurt, he sold you on being hurt in the match and everything. So I really liked that a lot. And he had probably the coolest highlight moment of the evening where he puts Jelly Roll on the table, decides to get up on the turnbuckle and do an entire flip. What was that, like sodas in his hand? I think he had. He was like doing a Stone Cold Steve Austin moment with sodas or something. I couldn't tell if that was sodas or beer or what, but he had something like that. And then he jumped into the table onto a Jelly Roll. And that was just an absolute insane moment that definitely was the highlight of the evening. So that's why I'm with mixed emotions here, because while overall this match with Jelly Roll was very, very embarrassing, it also had probably the coolest moment of any of the matches. So I'll give him credit where credit's due. Yeah. That was at least pretty cool. Next up, the other match was and of course, Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul won. I expected them to win. I initially expected that's not true. I initially expected Jelly Roll to win, just because this is his first time being at a SummerSlam. I thought, hey, to make him feel welcomed, why don't we let him win? But that was not the case. I thought they were going to go that route, but they didn't. I will say I am glad that his first match was a tag team match, because if they would have faced him up against Logan Paul like by himself or something where he has no protection from another wrestler, I feel like that could have been really dangerous, and he maybe could have actually gotten hurt, because Jelly Roll has no real experience in this business. So I'm just glad that he's okay and that, he had fun. But yeah, he just stick to doing music. I'm glad he has all these goals, but this was embarrassing for him. Then you had the main event of the evening, which was CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this one was an interesting match, because when it's first starting off, I straight up was like starting to start. My phone just fell. I straight up was starting to doze off. I thought this match, when it first started, was boring as sin. I was like ready to fall asleep. Like, it was just, they weren't doing anything. They were just, oh, I'm holding you. And the person's like, oh, he's holding me. Oh, he's holding me. It was like that for like a solid 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the match, it felt like. And you were just like, oh my God, this is boring. And then once the match continued on further, it got really interesting, and actually, they started to actually do stuff in the match. And so it was subpar overall, but I thought it was still good. The ending is what definitely saved it for me, but I will get to that in a second. In terms of the match itself, I thought it was good. I've never been a huge Gunther guy, to be honest. I think he's also kind of a overrated kind of superstar, honestly. I don't know. He just kind of looks like a Arnold Schwarzenegger wannabe, personally. I just don't think he's anything that special. So Gunther, well, he performed well today, but he just, I don't know, I just never liked him personally. And then CM Punk has always been a favorite of mine, so I was rooting for CM Punk in here, and he ended up winning, sort of, which, very happy about. But the match overall, like I said, started off boring. Then you get to the situation where he is getting his ass kicked, CM Punk, and then he's outside the ring with Gunther, and Gunther's just throwing him into everything, beating him up outside the ring, and then he's taunting on top of the table. So then CM Punk just grabs him by the leg and just pulls him down off the table, and he hits his face as hard as he can. I thought that was really funny, and then you can literally see Gunther. This is what I mean. There's a lot of these kind of moments today. You can literally see Gunther crawl under the table so he can put on the fake blood on his face. And then he crawls back up and he has fake blood. It's like, okay. Really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be fake blood, but they could have played that out better. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting whenever he starts bleeding. And then he's about to they go back into the ring, they fight some more. He's about to do a power bomb on him. I think he's about to from he does a power bomb to him. He does his finisher just like multiple times. Punk kicks out, and then Punk ends the match by doing not one but two of his GTS move to finish him off and gets the victory over Gunther. But that's not all. That's when the big shocker of the evening, I guess you could say, is that Seth Rollins decides after an already brutal match with Gunther, he decides to cash in the Money in the Bank on CM Punk, which basically, if y'all don't know the rule of Money in the Bank, you can win the Money in the Bank at the pay-per-view Money in the Bank. And if you win, then that basically gives you a chance anytime you want to cash in your Money in the Bank and try to take a title from somebody and win the title off someone. And so basically, I should have seen it coming because they spent way too long on it. And you see CM Punk as he's like crying into his belt, and he's super happy about winning his belt and all of this. It's really it's all really, really exciting this is an exciting moment for Punk. And then all of a sudden, boom, Seth Rollins comes out there and he basically beats him to a pulp with his Money in the Bank briefcase. And you also find out he's been faking this injury that he's had and everything. So that was kind of a plot twist in and of itself. Runs in there, beats him with the briefcase many times, and then he decides to do his finisher on him and then roll him into the pin and wins the championship right off of CM Punk, who was champion for 5 minutes. This would be a really fun fact because I know also it happened to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania XL. Punk only got 5 minutes as being the champ, which, sucks for Punk and any Punk fans. I'm sorry about that. He'll definitely win it again at some point though. But I am sorry for all you Punk fans, but I am curious. For anyone who might know this fact, who has the shortest reign as a champion? So like I want to know by the minutes and by the seconds. Like I don't know which superstar has the shortest reign as a champion. So that means if someone cashed in their Money in the Bank after someone only had their title for 30 seconds or something like that, I don't know. It would be interesting to know what is the shortest reign for a champion to ever exist. So that would be kind of an interesting fact to bring up. But yeah, that kind of made this match for me. Because like I said, overall the match was pretty boring up until the last 10 minutes of the match. And then once the actual ending happened, that made the whole thing for me. I'm a big Seth Rollins fan, so I'm glad that kind of happened. I mean, I'm a big CM Punk fan too, so I'm kind of heartbroken that he lost. I really wanted this for Punk, but I'm sure he'll have his time here soon to get it back. But yeah, overall, what I thought of SummerSlam night 1, I think night 2 is going to be a lot better because night 2 you have my girl Rhea Ripley doing the triple threat match. You've got Becky Lynch fighting. You've got Dominic Mysterio going up against AJ Styles, which is going to be an interesting match. That rivalry's been pretty good. And then you've got John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, which is going to be like the big main event. So I do think part 2 is going to be better. In terms of SummerSlams, I think part 1 was just... I think part 1 was kind of okay. I didn't love part 1. I thought it was good. I'll preface. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was anything great though. I didn't think that I've seen way better SummerSlams than this one. So I just, like I said, if I love the presentation from Logan Paul, but that Jelly Roll match is embarrassing, man. Fucking embarrassing. The Sami Zayn match I didn't care about. And then the Tiffany Stratton match was really short. And then, of course, like I said, well, very good match. It was very short. And then you had this match, the main event, your main event, being boring as hell for like the first 10 minutes or whatever. I thought it was absolutely a bore fest for the first 10 minutes. So knowing that, I think this is just kind of a good but not great SummerSlam. So when my highlight, and y'all know how much I dislike Charlotte Flair, if my highlight is a Charlotte Flair match, saying that is the best match of the evening, then you know it wasn't the greatest SummerSlam, because I have a lot of disdain for Charlotte Flair. So I'm just I just do not like her. And then we've got Brian here says, I'm curious if there's any returns tomorrow night. I don't know. I don't really know where there'd be an opportunity for a return to happen per se. Because I don't know, unless they were like doing like a mystery opponent kind of thing, I don't really see where there's any kind of returns that could happen. I could see Undertaker coming out since it's SummerSlam. I don't think he'll wrestle, but I could see Undertaker coming out to like basically distract someone in the Rhea Ripley match, and then Rhea Ripley gets the victory or something. I could see something like that happening. Or, maybe someone returns to like basically attack Cena or something during the match, since that's going to be a street match or something, which should be interesting because we have like a street match between them. So that's going to be really fun to see them just go full on as hard as they can on each other. And then we also got the steel cage match, and I always love steel cage matches, so that should be really interesting to watch as well. And tomorrow I'm gonna try. It's like $26 for the event, but I'm gonna try to go to a movie theater to go and see part 2, like on the big screen, because I'm off. I'm able to go to. I could have gone today, but one, I don't know if I have the money for both nights. Two, I was like, I worked a long day. I wanted to go home, rest, and watch SummerSlams. But tomorrow, I'm going to try to actually see this and to see part 2 in the theater. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to part 2 even more. So should be good. I hope there's returns. I would love personally, if they're in TNA right now, I personally would love to see the Hardy Boys return. I would love to see something happen there, especially because they've had some really excellent SummerSlam moments. So I feel like SummerSlam would be a really good spot for them to return. That's just me personally. I still remember SummerSlam 2009. Punk and Jeff Hardy, one of the best matches ever. Then Brian Nussbaum says the TLC match could be the showstopper tomorrow night. Oh, is it a TLC? I thought it was a street fight. The one with John Cena and um with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I thought that was. Let me double check, but I know that the for the tag team championship. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I see what you're saying here. The Wyatt Sis and DII versus Street Profits and yeah, okay. That's a TLC match. Oh, damn. So you have a TLC match, a steel cage match, and you get a street fight match all in one night. That's like super duper. And also because if y'all know any, rules of wrestling, any triple threat match automatically classifies as no disqualification. At least that's what it used to be back in the day. I don't know if they changed the rules, but any triple threat match, it automatically is no disqualification. So you could see something between Naomi, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. That would be very interesting. Just saying. But yeah, I'm really excited for that match. I'm really excited for Becky Lynch versus Lyra as well. I think that's a really good match, and yeah, the United States Championship match will be interesting. Of course my most anticipated is gonna be John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. It's just the big match that we're all looking forward to. But I think besides that, my next most anticipated would be Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley, because Rhea Ripley's my girl. I love her. She's just maybe the best superstar in the business right now. So I am really excited to watch that match. So yeah, that is part one, guys. Part two is tomorrow. Let me know down below what y'all thought of part one. Would love to hear your thoughts. It feels good getting back into WWE. It's been kind of like off and on, but I've been watching it some lately. Watching the most recent Raw episodes. I watched WWE Unreal. Great documentary series. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. And that kind of made me want to see SummerSlam. And I'm glad I watched SummerSlam. I was going to actually physically be there, drive to New Jersey and physically be there tonight. But I didn't want to spend like almost $2,000 per ticket just to get good seats. It's just, that's ridiculous to me. They're price gouging people. Anyways, that'll do it, guys. In terms of what's coming up on the channel, like I said, part two will be tomorrow night. So you guys stay tuned for that. I got to actually get ready for another video too that we'll be doing pretty soon, which is the start of spooky season. So spooky season is starting early on the channel with August is what I'm saying. Instead of August, we are doing August, and it will be all ghost movies that we will. And the thing is we are differentiating demonic possession movies with ghost movies. So no demonic possession movies. Or like demonic entity movies. We are just doing ghost movies. So should be interesting to explore ghost movies, and we have like over 60+ ghost movies. We're not going to get to all of them. We're maybe only going to get to like 6, maybe 9 this month. So we're only going to get to that many, but we're going to have so many to last us multiple years. So yeah, it would be really great. That's a good point. Do we ever see Jelly Roll wrestle again? That was bad. Yeah. Yeah. No, that was pretty terrible. Not gonna lie. Probably the most embarrassing moment of the night. The fact that he literally only got to do, I think, like 5 moves total. He got his ass kicked, and then he got the epic moment where Logan Paul jumps through the table with him, and then he is being walked away, and then he decides to run in there and then get his ass kicked more. And then maybe gets a little bit of an adrenaline boost to like clothesline Drew McIntyre and then clothesline Logan Paul. And then that's like basically it. And then does that weird like pin where, like I talked about, where he's like this or something, trying to pin someone down. It was so bad. So bad. Never have him wrestle again. And here's the thing with it too, guys. I know y'all are watching this shit. Oh, give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a celebrity. He doesn't know this type of stuff. I just want to say, I have been the number one shitter on Bad Bunny. All right. I thought Bad Bunny joining WWE was a terrible idea. I was like, why is this rapper joining WWE? And at first I was watching it. I couldn't really let that get out of my mind. But then as I watched him in more matches, I thought to myself, Bad Bunny is actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. Like when Bad Bunny was at WrestleMania, not gonna lie, that match was actually really, really good. So I think so. It's a matter on just taking it serious, and if you have what it takes to be a showman, to be able to compete with these other people in the ring, and Bad Bunny just has that kind of magic. Jelly Roll does not have that magic. And I just think that they got to evaluate what celebrities they bring in. If they ever do any more celebrities, they really got to evaluate them and make sure they're trained. Because before the whole show started, Undertaker was like, "Oh, y'all are not ready for how good Jelly Roll is going to be tonight," and all this stuff. Because apparently, like Undertaker, this man who's like well beyond his years of wrestling, was like training Jelly Roll, and I should have known from then on. I should have been like, okay, if Undertaker is training him, then yeah, we're screwed. Because Undertaker, you're a fucking old man. I love you, Undertaker, but you're an old man who doesn't who shouldn't be training someone. So it's like that is not really. That's a sign that I knew like, no, he's not gonna get what he needs properly. And then, yeah, I agree. Jake Paul took us to one of my new favorite. Well, you mean Logan Paul. Jake Paul is still a joke. Jake Paul is in boxing. He was the one that beat Mike Tyson and was all like, oh, I'm better than Mike because I beat up this old man and all that stuff. He's still stupid. Jake Paul is. But Logan Paul, I agree. Logan Paul has really been able to bounce back ever since he made that dumb video online. Then he joined boxing. Wasn't the best at boxing, but he did it. He did his best he could. And, I respected him for that. Then he joined WWE, and I agree. He was a joke at first. And then, but now it's like, man, when it comes to the night, like while the women's matches were like my favorites, I think that he just what impressed me the most when it came to just showmanship, when it came to performance, all of that. It just radiated off the screen. So good job to to you, Logan Paul. You did a really good job. So, I'm a Logan Paul fan now. Never thought I'd ever say that, but here we are. Yeah, and yeah, he is seriously one of my new favorites as well. So yeah, guys. Hopefully Tristan will join us for part 2 tomorrow. I will probably be starting part 2 around the same time. I'll be watching it around. I'll be watching around like 6 p.m. something like that, and then probably we'll be starting the actual after show at like 10:30, something like that. So stay tuned for that, guys. But I'm excited for everything coming up on the channel for you guys, especially all the horror content we have coming up. So make sure you like and subscribe to get all that. We will definitely see you all tomorrow for part 2 of SummerSlam. Until next time, stay awesome, my friends, and keep on watching keep on supporting wrestling, watching wrestling, I guess. Yeah. Usually it's keep on watching those movies, but I'm like, what do I use for wrestling terms? I don't know, but definitely go support wrestling.